Alright, I wanted to discuss real quick the appointment of Ajit Ajit Pay AJIT space PAI. This dude. Appointment of this guy as the chairman of the FCC. This is troubling, especially because this individual here, who is a ex-Verizon lawyer, has essentially said that he wants to gut our telecommunications regulations. Probably all of them. In fact, he's quoted in a speech as saying, and I quote, he wants to fire up a weed whacker and remove those rules that are holding back investment, innovation, and job creation. Which, I mean, of course, is like basically GOP code for deregulate, make it easier on the businesses, and screw over the consumers and the employees. But moving on. Now, this was an interesting case because he was actually already in the FCC, so he actually did not have to go through confirmation. Basically, when the inauguration happened and the administration changed, Tom Wheeler was booted out, and this guy just kind of slid his ass over to the chairman's seat and took over. Now, he has, unlike a lot of Trump's picks for various positions, this guy actually does have some experience in this field. Who would have thought? But it's still a problem. And let's go over a few reasons why. Now, here are the things. Like, in his time at the FCC, he's been opposed to practically every positive change in the rules that have happened, at least from a consumer standpoint. He has opposed net neutrality. He has opposed rules protecting the privacy of ISP customers. He has opposed requiring cable companies to provide cheaper alternatives to the rented or leased, set-top cable boxes. He has opposed increasing the speed increase to the FCC's broadband standard, which basically, in the eyes of the FCC, for internet service to qualify as broadband, it has to meet a certain speed, upload and download speed. He was against increasing that. He was also against the preemption of state laws that restrict the expansion of municipal broadband. So basically, if AT&T or Verizon or Charter, whoever isn't just isn't cutting it service-wise in a municipality, on occasion they decide that, hell with it, we're just going to put in our own fiber. Well, that, of course, did not make the telecom companies happy. They, in turn, got some of the state governments to pass laws preventing it, and this guy fully supports keeping those laws in place because, you wouldn't want competition, would you? And then, let's see, he also, purely coincidental, I'm sure, opposed an investigation into AT&T and Verizon concerning abuse of net neutrality, which we'll get into a little deeper in a moment. In addition, and also too, for whatever reason, also opposed updating the FCC's Lifeline program that would provide subsidized broadband internet service to underprivileged customers. So yeah, basically every single positive thing the FCC has done in the past few years, we don't need that. He's been against it, and not only that, but he's also already taking steps to dismantle the good that has been done. For example, the Lifeline program. To my knowledge, that program has actually been around for many years, but it was specifically for like a phone line, and of course, I guess after that, you could get use dial-up internet over it. But anyway, Tom Wheeler and the FCC wanted to expand it to include broadband internet, so that you would actually get, if you qualified for the assistance, you would get a monthly subsidy to help pay for that service. And he reversed it. It just passed a few weeks ago. Companies were signing up. It was rolling out, and no, never mind. To hell with them. They don't need help with their internet service. So that's the first one. Booting poor people off the internet. Good job. And then, oh, look at that. FCC, I'm sure it has nothing to do with his background or anything. Verizon. Lawyer. FCC rescinds claim that AT&T and Verizon violated net neutrality laws. You see, what they were doing is a thing called zero rating, which is basically like say you have, and what they were doing is they would have, say AT&T would come up with its own video streaming service, similar to Netflix or Hulu or whatever. And they would offer that essentially free. Like you wouldn't have to pay any data. It would not count against your monthly data limit to use that service. But if you go and watch videos on YouTube or Hulu or Netflix, it would. And of course, as I'm sure most people have experienced this, where really if you're on mobile data, 9 times out of 10 you really can't really use Netflix on a mobile data plan, because you will chew through your monthly data allotment in an afternoon. But not if you're using AT&T's application or platform. You can use that all the time, and it's anti-competitive. It's basically saying okay, well, we have ours. And some people take the opinion of oh, well, free market, let them do what they want kind of thing. Well, it's a little bit different under these circumstances, because in this case we're talking about if we were talking say Netflix and Hulu getting into some kind of a beef with each other, some kind of competition. Yeah, that's fair, that's capitalism, that's the way it works. But now we're talking about something different. Now what we're essentially doing is everyone on that network can't really use the competition on their wireless data, but they can use AT&T's. So it basically torpedoes the chances of any other service in competing to be able to compete in that space. And that, I said, it's anti-competitive. It's not the way, our system, or the way they like to fawn over the idea of capitalism. Well, that's not capitalism. That's kind of sort of a bit of a monopoly. If you're walled garden kind of setup, and this guy's 100% for it. Not only was he opposed to this ruling to begin with, but he's now repealed it or rescinds it. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, and we got you. You don't have to worry about you can just keep on doing what you're doing. Oh, and by the way, I'm sure he's right now getting his weed whacker ready to get rid of net neutrality just across the board. And this is draining the swamp people. This is evidently what he meant. doesn't look like he's really draining it to me. Or as someone said, I forget the video I heard it on, but yeah, he drained the swamp, and wouldn't you know it, at the bottom he found his cabinet. Anyway. Alright, well, that's it for now. So, links are in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.